Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here, and this is a revisit of the Wile Coyote Acme type padlock, this comedy padlock. I was having a little play the other night and I picked it open. All well and good, all worked fine. So I went to lock it back up again with one of its very high quality, well engineered keys. Shocking. And it was a bit stiff. So I gave it a bit of force, and it was continued to be a bit stiff, so I gave it a bit more force, and then it gave, everything turned, it didn't lock, and something bent inside. Now I can't even get the key in. So the levers have dropped. I don't know if you can see that. You can just make out the lever there if I zoom in. So yeah, that's what happens with things that are not of the highest quality. They bend when you actually try and use them properly. That was me just trying to lock it back up again. So the question was, do I keep this as a paperweight on my desk? It's quite a good looking padlock. Or do I try and do something with it to maintain practical usage? And I thought, I think I might have to take these rivets off. There's quite a lot of rivets I've got to take off. So I think we'll be grinding these off. I'll probably replace them with something like some bolts right the way through, some stainless cap head bolts or something. We'll see. I don't know yet. I don't know what state things are going to be inside. If those keys are anything to go by, I think it's going to be pretty horrible inside this lock. Because obviously it's riveted shut. They were never meant to be seen by another human being. I don't think they're the finest quality. Anyway, I shall get it out to the workshop. We'll do some destruction on it, and I'll be back in a bit. Once I've got the lid off, I'll show you what's inside. Cheers.
Yeah, this is taking forever. Right, so I've got that apart, and there's actually 5 levers in here, not 4. It's the front 3 levers that have dropped. It looks like there's no bolt between the gates, so I don't know where that's gone. Maybe it's sheared off. So I'm going to have to take all that assembly off. Unfortunately, they've pinned down tops of those rivets, so that's going to be a bit of a mare. I can't get the levers out without forcing that plate off, and that's going to be a bit involved, I think. But anyway, assuming I can get it back together again and working, I bet I should be able to clean this lock up a treat actually and make it considerably nicer than it was. We shall see. Anyway, more as I progress. Right, so I've got all the levers off, and I found the problem. There's the in the middle here is the part of the bolt assembly, and you can see that the pin that travels between the levers properly bent out of shape, and I probably did that applying way too much tension. So that is going to need to be don't know if I can straighten that. It feels loose, so it looks like it's a pin that's been pushed through and it's an interference fit, so I might be able to replace that with a sturdy nail. We'll see. But there are the levers, all 5 levers, and actually, considering the crummy finish in some parts of the lock, the levers are actually quite a bit better. Quite a lot of oil inside this lock for what looked like a brand new lock, but then again, steel levers, so I guess prevent it from rusting. Anyway, that's the state of things. Let's see if I can get it back together again. Hopefully. We'll see. Alright, to be continued. Okay, making some good progress. Finally replaced the bolt up stand with a heavier duty, well, it's a cut down nail basically. I turned off the head on the lathe, heated it up and did an interference fit. Seems very solid, very sturdy. Key still works. So just installing the levers now. The back two levers go in, then this spacer goes on top. Creates a bit of an air gap between the front three and the back two. Reminds me a bit of the Squire Defiant and the spring lever, where you have to sort of duck under it to get to the back levers. There you go, that's on. And so the other two levers sit on top of that. Then what we've got to do is we've got to get the there's like a compression plate that fits on top of the whole thing, this thing. So I've had to put some cuts in the top of these rivets, and I'll drive them apart with a wedge once they're on. Hopefully it won't be too tight. I didn't really want to take that last rivet out at the top there, because if I did, to get to the back of these plates to replace those studs, it's going to be a heck of a lot more work. And you know what, there's only so much time I wanted to invest in this lock. So anyway, that's the progress so far. I'll do another short video once I've got it all back together again and I'm happy with the actual lever pack. Right, see you in a bit. Right, a bit pleased with this. So I've had to modify that compression plate. The new thicker bolt up stand was catching it, so there's an opportunity for me to modify that plate and give an opportunity to smooth this out a little bit. So I've given the whole thing a zap with some Teflon, and it is super smooth now. Well, it's still stiff because of the springs, but it moves beautifully. And if I had something to put a camera in, I'd operate it, but I don't. I'll wait until it's together without the top plate on, and then we'll have a go at it. But it's working a treat now, and hopefully I can get it back together again. So these are going to be the case bolts. They are M5 countersunks, which I'm just turning the rims down on. They'll look quite nice. They're a little more subtle than having cap head bolts. Backing them out. Right, back from the workshop, and here is the finished article. Moment of truth. It worked a minute ago. Hopefully it's going to work now. Yeah. Much smoother than the original article. I have picked it. It picks actually surprisingly similar to the original lock. I thought with the larger bolt peg, the tolerances might be a little tighter and it might not need quite as much tension, but no, that hasn't changed at all. So end to end, probably a little over 3 hours to rebuild this. And you know, the question you ask yourself is, should I have just spent 20 quid and bought a new one? But actually, where's the fun in that? I quite enjoyed taking it apart, learning about how the lock was thrown together, and have enjoyed a little bit of improvement on it. It's certainly better than it was. I mean, it's not very secure these days because you could undo these bolts, but it was never going to lock anything up. It was always going to be a bit of a challenge just to play with it and pick it, because it's so unusual and so completely bizarre. But yeah, a little bit of improvement, a little bit of shaping and getting rid of some of the burrs and whatnot on it. I haven't gone to town on it because frankly, you know, it wasn't worth the effort. It still looks good from across the room. And that's about all it's going to be. It's just going to look good. Occasionally I will get bored and I will pick it, and hopefully it won't destroy itself. So anyway, I hope you thought that was interesting. I think I enjoyed it. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I like a good engineering project. Until next time, good luck with your picking. Cheers.